Okay, I've never posted anything like this before, but I can't stop thinking about what happened and maybe writing it down will help me get it out of my head. So this happened last month. I-29F went on a date with this guy named Evan. We met through a friend's event, not online or anything. He seemed like one of those too good to be true types. Well-dressed, polite, charming in that quiet, old-fashioned way. He listened when I talked. Actually listened. It's embarrassing how much I liked that. We met for dinner at this small place downtown. Cozy, candlelight, soft music. The kind of setting that makes you think maybe you were finally catching a break in life. He was funny, attentive, and easy to talk to. Every time I looked up, he was already looking at me. But not in a creepy way, not yet. About halfway through dinner, he reached over and brushed something off my shoulder. When I looked up, he was holding a strand of my hair between his fingers. I laughed awkwardly like, "Oh wow, thanks." But instead of dropping it, he kind of stared at it for a second before letting it fall. That should have been a red flag. When dinner was over, he walked me to my car in the rain, holding his umbrella over me the entire time. It felt sweet, protective even. And when he asked if I wanted to come by his place for dessert, he mentioned some bakery downstairs from his apartment that had the best chocolate chess pie in the city. I said yes. Big mistake. His apartment was spotless. Too spotless. Like magazine photo shoot clean. The kind of clean where you wonder if someone lives there at all. He had everything lined up perfectly. Shoes by the door, keys in a dish. Curtains halfway open, just enough to see the city lights. He made tea and we sat on the couch. He asked if he could play a record. Yes, an actual vinyl record. The song was slow, kind of romantic. Then out of nowhere he said, "Your hair smells really clean." I froze for a second and kind of laughed, but he didn't. He just smiled softly and said, "That's a good thing. I like when people smell like themselves." It didn't feel like a compliment. I tried to change the subject, but he stood up and said he wanted to show me something on the rooftop, some kind of garden space he kept talking about. I said sure because I didn't want to seem rude, but also I didn't want to be there anymore. The elevator was out, so we took the stairs. The stairwell was quiet. Concrete walls, flickering lights, that faint smell of wet paint and dust. Halfway up, he stopped and said, "You have a really distinct scent. I could find you in a crowd." I laughed again because what else was I supposed to do? He didn't laugh back. Then he reached into his pocket and pulled something out. I thought it was his phone, but it wasn't. It was a small pair of scissors, like sewing scissors. He looked right at me and said, "Can I take a piece?" At first, I honestly thought he was joking. I said, "A piece of what?" He smiled. "Your hair." I told him no. He looked disappointed but not angry. He said he understood. Then while I was turning to keep walking, he stepped forward and snipped a lock of my hair near the bottom. Clean, quick, and confident. I screamed. He didn't even flinch. He just stood there holding it like it was something sacred. Then he tucked it neatly into his sweater pocket. I bolted down the stairs and out the door into the rain. I could hear him calling after me saying, wait, I didn't mean to scare you." But I didn't stop. When I looked back up at his building from my car, he was standing in his window watching me leave. No anger, no panic. Just watching. I filed a police report the next day. The officer asked if he'd physically harmed me. I said no, but that he'd cut my hair without permission. The cop just nodded and said, "That's weird," and that was about it. 2 days later, I got a small padded envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside was a folded card from a local jewelry shop. On the card, written in neat handwriting, were the words, "We can preserve what matters." And taped to the back of the card was that same lock of hair. I moved apartments a week later. I changed my phone number. But sometimes, when I'm sitting on the bus or waiting in line, I swear I can feel someone behind me just a little too close. And every now and then I catch a faint sound behind my ear, like the whisper of scissors opening.